Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's edition of the Sunday Wire. I'm Patrick Henningsen, your host. We are streaming out live on X, Rumble, also YouTube, BitChute Live, Facebook Live, and a few other platforms as well. 21st Century Wire, of course, Alternate Current Radio Network.com. And also, let me also give a shout out to our audio streams on iTunes, as well as on Spotify, and we will be developing our video platform on the podcasting features on Spotify as well. We're working on that right now, so we're going to shift over to video on that platform as well. And thank you guys for joining us. And this is episode 580 of this weekly omnibus news analysis TV and radio program. Again, brought to you here by 21st Century Wire, Alternate Current Radio.com as well. And so we're going to bring some important stories to the fore this week. Let's just start by having a collective sigh of relief that Donald Trump hasn't started any new wars this week. So this is something positive, something we can all sort of rally around, sort of a good, feel-good thought that Donald Trump hasn't started a new war this week, although he is certainly trying hard to start more new wars. Our peace president, who got a Nobel Peace Prize from, well, he didn't really win it. It was given to him by a CIA puppet called Maria Corina Machado from Venezuela. But it was meant to recognize what a peaceful president Donald Trump is. I mean, seriously, people, if you believe that, we'll get on to the business of this, plus, the Epstein files release as well. So we got a lot of ground to cover during this first segment. And in the second segment, we're going to get reactions and also look at some of the Epstein file details, the gory details with our teammates at ACR. Hopefully we'll be joined by Hesher and Ruckus as well. Probably not Basil Valentine, but you never know when Basil will pop in if he's not on the road. But let's get down to the task at hand. And before we start, I just want to do some housekeeping here. This is our winter fundraising drive, which we started annually. We usually start this on Thanksgiving weekend, so last week of November, and we usually run it for 2 months approximately. And we're very close to our goal. And as we told you, as we unveiled last week, unbelievable support from our audience, from you, the listeners, everybody in the chat room as well. You guys have really stepped up. You've donated. You subscribed to become a member at 21wire.tv, which is just over $5 per month. Very inexpensive, but it goes a long way in supporting this independent media platform. 21stcenturywire.com. All of our 8 or 9 channels across social media and video sharing platforms as well. We've got all that, plus the daily content, the original articles, the interviews at 21stcenturywire.com. All of that's what you're supporting by donating and getting involved during this winter fundraising drive. We're nearly there. We hope to hit our goal. We hoped by the end of the month, January. Didn't quite make it, but we're going to keep things rolling for another week in February. I think we're going to hit our target this week. I'm pretty sure, based on the response we got over the last 2 weeks. So we're absolutely going to hit our target in the next week. So this time next week for the Sunday Wire, we want to be celebrating and giving a huge thank you to everybody for reaching our target. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. And if we even go over that, it would be even more amazing. And because of that, we've been able to do some incredible things already. And you've seen our new account, our new channel on Upscrolled. This is the new sort of alternative to TikTok. This is already rolling, as well as new news features that we've released on Instagram and some of the other social media platforms as well. We're featuring articles as well as short videos now. So there's a lot going on. That's just the beginning. And we'll be doing some on-the-ground reporting because of the winter fundraising drive. We might have to announce that next week. We won't tell you what on-the-ground reporting we're going to do, but you might just see us there on location. And that's all because of the support you guys have given us. So I just want to say amazing. and keep it coming. Keep the support coming for this winter fundraising drive. If you like what we do, if you like this type of content that we do, and you like the fact that we've been at it for 15 years and we're not stopping and we're getting stronger and our team is really getting better as well. And so if this type of thing you want to see more of and you want to see us grow and expand this year, please get involved. This is your chance. This helps us to set our budget for the next year, 2026. And that figure there is just to keep the doors open. We have huge overheads in terms of web hosting, security, all the different apps and plugins and things that we have to manage, as well as all the social media platforms and channels that we manage as well. And we can't do it without your support, guys. So we're not only going to hit our target, we're going to go over our target, I predict, this week. And so we really need your help to make that happen. So now is the time to get involved. Again, it's we'll give a shout out also to some of the people who have come through for us. We'll probably wait next week because we usually need a fortnight to build up that name list. Obviously, first names, keeping it confidential, respecting privacy, but giving a little shout out so people know that we're most grateful for their generosity. It's just unbelievable. The response this year has been amazing. Maybe our best year ever in terms of just the speed and how much people responded to this and just the diversity of different types of support. It's been incredible. So thank you guys so much. Everybody who has stepped up, we really appreciate it. And it means that we're just going to be able to go really strong into 2026. So thank you so much. Now, let's get to what we're covering this week. And before we get to the main story, this is our Sunday screening. This is a documentary film which we feature every week, and this is usually put together by our editorial team. And it's a documentary film that's up on 21st Century Wire that we want you to check out. We think it'll be good for the education, just generally. This one's called 1948, Creation and Catastrophe. And as it says on the description on this isn't just history, folks. If you understand this, everything comes into context in the present day regarding Gaza, Palestine, Israel. The regional conflict is really, really essential viewing, and we hope you appreciate this selection this week. Thank you to our editorial team for curating this fantastic weekly documentary. It's just going from strength to strength, so that's something we're really, really happy about, how this has progressed as well. Now, the theme of today's show, this week's show, I think the photo says it all. So the day the Epstein files, or the week the Epstein files are dropped, millions of new files, we'll show you those in a minute. And at the same time, Trump is desperate to bomb Iran, to start a war with Iran, clearly on behalf of a foreign government. This White House, Donald Trump's administration, is under 100% control of Israel. All foreign policy decisions that have anything to do with the Middle East, and I would even throw Venezuela into that as well, maybe even further afield. Everything is directed by the Israeli lobby, and which is directed by Benjamin Netanyahu's office. Okay, that's the sad state of affairs for the United States of America in 2026. Is we are not sovereign. Our government is not sovereign, is under the complete control of a foreign entity. This president is so compromised, and if you look at some of the revelations in the Epstein files, you begin to see why Donald Trump is so compromised and why we're fighting wars on behalf of Israel. This president is allowed to be in power because he is so compromised, because he is so beholden to these shadowy, nefarious figures like the one right behind him in this picture, who was working for Israeli intelligence and probably also pawning off intelligence to the CIA, Jeffrey Epstein, and probably pawning it off to British intelligence as well. No doubt about that. With Ghislaine Maxwell, his partner, her father being a double or triple agent, Robert Maxwell. And so that's the sad state of affairs. And what's sadder is when confronted about this, Donald Trump called it a Democrat conspiracy theory just a few months ago. He says, why is everybody talking about the Epstein files? It's made up. I hardly met him. I met him a few times. He's a creep. Who is this? No one talks about this guy. Like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? That's what Trump was trying to push just a few months ago. Ignore this. Don't look. There's nothing happening here. Nothing with Jeffrey Epstein. No, he's a nobody. It turns out these two guys were best buddies. These two guys partied together. These two guys rode on their private jets together, gallivanting around the Caribbean, gallivanting around New York to Florida, all the private Eyes Wide Shut parties or whatever they got up to with their other elite political figures and captains of industry, heads of business, Bill Gates, Israeli intelligence heads, U.S. presidents, Bill Clinton, Hollywood actors, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, all these other people. The names are endless. Alan Dershowitz, and so on and so forth. All of these people. The list is endless. And Trump wanted us to think there's nothing there. Why is everybody pushing this hoax? It's not a hoax. Well, it's clearly not a hoax. But it says a lot about this president who sold himself as one thing, but has turned out to be something completely different. Now, some might argue that they knew he was a fraud, and they knew that Trump was basically going to betray the American people. Okay, fair enough. You can have that position. But if you look at the state of the last administration, where you had a president who was already suffering from early onset dementia, who could barely walk, it was a national embarrassment. Stuttering, falling asleep, at times had trouble putting sentences together. I'm talking about Joe Biden. And who appointed a vice president who doesn't seem to have had any experience really doing anything in her short political career. 2 years in the Senate, appointed because she was a black female. We're talking about Kamala Harris. So the last Democratic administration, which most likely won the 2020 election by dubious means anyway, but put that aside, okay? And you look at what Biden unleashed, the absolute hell he unleashed in Gaza with Netanyahu, and the absolute hell of the proxy war in Ukraine. And you look at that and you think, plus all the censorship that was just rampant, running out of Washington with the Silicon Valley and big tech, okay? That, all these things together, it was an absolute unmitigated disaster. That disaster, the Democrats, by forcing this decrepit, old, senile man into the presidency, who was corrupt as the day is long, make no mistake about it, Hunter Biden, all the graft in Ukraine. Biden was compromised, absolutely. But they forced this disaster of a presidency on the American people, and that basically paved the way for the resurgence of Donald Trump in 2024. And what the Democrats did was they created a monster. From Russiagate, which itself was a hoax, okay? The Trump 2.0 wanted revenge. And it was so baying for revenge that it has transformed into the worst fascist government in the history of the United States save maybe Abraham Lincoln's term. Lincoln was probably the biggest authoritarian fascist going, but at least he had the excuse of the Civil War at the time. And there's been other dubious and heavy-handed and corrupt U.S. presidents, but none of them hold a candle to Donald Trump. Okay, Trump 2.0 is not only a threat, existential threat to the United States as a constitutional republic. It's an existential threat to the world, because no other president seems to be determined to drive the United States and the world towards World War III than Donald Trump. That's beyond debate at this point. He's doing everything. Think about it. Donald Trump is doing everything. It is very much a repeat of Nazi Germany, in the sense that what Nazi Germany did was basically lay waste to the League of Nations. Okay. Donald Trump is trying to lay waste to the United Nations. Okay. Nazi Germany laid waste to any concept of international law or restraint in that sense. And Donald Trump is laying waste to international law and restraint by declaring or unlimited undeclared wars of aggression, much like Nazi Germany. So history is repeating itself a little bit, but the difference between Nazi Germany and the United States is Nazi Germany didn't have nuclear weapons. Donald Trump does, which makes him more dangerous. And Nazi Germany didn't exist in a multipolar world as such. Well, there were multiple poles of power. Now it's much more complex between China, Russia, India, BRICS, the U.S., Europe, Israel, and the emerging Greater Israel Pax Judaica project. It's a multipolar world with all of these poles nuclear armed, much more dangerous. And Trump is sitting there with a match and playing around, getting ready to ignite it. And he can't decide where and when he wants to do that, but he seems like a very confused and lost individual nonetheless. So we'll bring that back. Here he is. So the Epstein administration, now after 12 months, Epstein then moves into his second year. Trump moves into his second year as president, and he's already started. He's bombed 7 countries, and he started 3 new wars. Not bad for somebody who thinks that he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. And here's the background. January 30th, DOJ releases millions of pages of documents in the Epstein investigation. And I'm looking through, a lot of these are allegations, of course. These are things that were filtering into the FBI's investigation, including public tips. So a lot of these might be, uncorroborated. It's not evidence per se. But some of the emails are very real. All these emails are very real. And we'll show you because it's interesting. And again, it's important to remind people. Donald Trump, just a few months ago, denied this was a thing. This is a president, and all of his lackeys, from J.D. Vance to everybody else, they campaigned on, and Kash Patel and everybody else, we're going to release the Epstein files. Oh, the Epstein files. And they got votes on that because they knew that was a absolute essential issue for Trump's MAGA base. And for conservative Republicans, they wanted to see this thing come out. Many people, independents, wanted this scandal to basically be exercised. Okay? Then Trump has the temerity to do an about face and claim it's a Democrat Party hoax just a couple months ago because he was panicking. Why was he panicking? Well, we know why. Just take a look at the material in here. So disingenuous, dishonest. This president is so dishonest. He thinks that he can just magic away anything that's illegal or a scandal and just because if he just waves his hand and says it's a hoax in his deluded mind and the deluded minds of his supporters and his deranged cabinet, they think that this is just going to, evaporate. This is a huge embarrassment for the United States because what the world now knows is that the U.S. is not independent, that Israel was running blackmail operations against the top U.S. oligarchs and politicians and international political figures as well. So when you look at U.S. foreign policy, you look at the things the United States is doing in the world, you then have to come back to this. And you say, why is this happening? It's because partly, if not all, because of this. Why is everybody so quiet about Israel massacring Palestinians on an industrial scale over the last two years? It's because of this. It's because of this. So let's take a look at some of these items here. You probably, if you've been on X or social media, there are fakes being put out, by the way. People are punting fakes. So you do have to rely on some media outlets that have some accountability in terms of they have to put their reputation on the line as to, whether social media accounts or anonymous accounts on X have nothing to lose by putting out fakes or just basically retweeting or copying and pasting fakes. And a lot of people don't even know they're pushing altered documents. But what's important to understand is when something like this drops, that the people who want to discredit this leak or this release of documents or in this type of situation, they will insert fakes. They'll insert fakes, fake emails, lots of forgeries. They'll do that to basically reduce the overall public confidence about any particular claims, and it injects the seed of doubt that what they're looking at might be altered or fake. That's the sort of catch-22 with the modern digital age, is it's also very easy to inject things that will damage the confidence of any breaking story. And certainly the people who are implicated in this, it would be in their interest to do that, including the Israeli bot farm and the MAGA bot farm. I wouldn't put it past the Trump administration to be doing things to undermine this story. Now, this is where it gets interesting, okay? And new documents reveal the breadth of Jeffrey Epstein's orbit. And you can go to Politico, and the thing about mainstream media outlets on this is they'll probably be at least double checking that what they're putting out is on this story anyway is going to be accurate because it's document based. But Elon Musk is the interesting piece here because this is a guy that always puts himself out as based and smarter than everybody, and he's sort of an open racist. He pushes out very divisive, xenophobic material on a platform that he controls the algorithm, which prioritizes his politics and toxic actors like Tommy Robinson, okay? Openly fascistic figures. So Elon pretends to be above the fray. And he used to make jokes about the Epstein files, but maybe he didn't realize that he is implicated in this. Elon's up to his neck in it, okay? And let's take a look at just how deep. And this is interesting because Elon said publicly, back when this story broke, he said, I was invited to the island, Little St. James, for the parties, but I refused. I'm above all that. I refused, said Elon. It turns out that's not true. He was likely lying to make himself look good. That's what it looks like from some of the emails that have dropped here. This is from Jeffrey Epstein from Elon Musk to his friend Jeff. Elon and Jeff were very, very close friends. Very close, as you can see. Buddies here. So who's coming to to the party, probably just Tallulah and me. What day and night will be the wildest party on your island? Asks Elon Musk to his friend, who he claims to not known, Jeffrey Epstein. Isn't that interesting? So interesting, isn't it? And here, this is from Jeff. This is from my buddy Jeff, Elon's buddy Jeff, his best buddy. And Christmas and New Year's party, wild sex parties, or whatever they get up to. And Jeffrey says, bad news, Elon. Unfortunately, my schedule will keep me in New York. I was really looking forward to finally spending some time together with just fun as the agenda. Wow. Wow. So I'm very disappointed. Hopefully we can schedule another time in the near future. And here's it's a reply to Elon's previous email that said, actually, I could fly back early on the 3rd. We will be in St. Bart's in the Caribbean. When should we head to your island? On the 2nd? Oh my goodness. So yeah, they're making plans, making plans for big wild parties. I'm sure it's nothing. It's probably totally innocent. Because, it's Jeff Epstein, so there can't be anything untoward going on. That's impossible. It's Jeff. Jeff's a really straight guy, and everybody knew Jeff. Everyone vouched for him. He's a good guy. He's friends with Bill Gates, Stephen Hawking, best buddies with Elon Musk and Trump. It's probably nothing there. So, why am I even, speculating? Why are we even talking about why is political reporting on this? There's nothing there, of course. It's Jeff. Trump said he didn't know anything. Trump said it was a Democratic Party hoax, so it must be. It must be a Democrat hoax because Trump said there's nothing here. So we shouldn't be, why bother with any of this? So a perfect distraction, of course, would be a war. So we're calling this Trump's latest war because Trump likes starting wars and kidnapping heads of state and making up fake stories about narco-terrorism to justify blatantly illegal acts, abusing the power of the U.S. government and military to carry out jobs for, on behalf of the drug cartels or on behalf of Israel or who knows. Those are the only people that seem to be the beneficiaries of these Trump operations. So here's another one, Iran. But this one's more dangerous, you see, because this one has the potential to trigger a thermonuclear war with multiple state actors involved. And that's the problem. And wouldn't it be a beautiful and glorious distraction to this domestic situation that Trump is currently presiding over, which is a total debacle? Look at what's happened in Minneapolis, in Minnesota. A disaster. No doubt about it. A total disaster. Fascist Gestapo thugs. His own NKVD police force with huge public pushback. We'll show you the poll numbers from Trump. It's over. Folks, the bottom fell out. It's over. MAGA's finished. Done. So why is he going around trying to start World War III? The American people certainly don't want it, but Netanyahu needs it. The Netanyahu regime, his best buddy, he needs it. Netanyahu needs to drag Trump to do the heavy lifting, to strike Iran, to save Netanyahu's regime, to save this genocide in Gaza project, to pave the way for Jared Kushner's Dubai on the Med, paving over Gaza and all the dead bodies to build luxury resorts. I mean, these people are just satanic. The things that they're doing in broad daylight are beyond shocking. Okay? They both need this. Both Trump and Netanyahu need this. They need this war. For Trump, it's an existential issue. For his administration, it's the only thing they can do. It also will cover up the collapse of the U.S. dollar, which we'll show you as well, which is happening now. Okay. This president in a year has been the biggest train wreck in United States history. I mean, if this continues at this pace, then, I'd say probably better to bring back Sleepy Joe. Bring back Sleepy Joe in a wheelchair. With a hearing aid and the convalescent staff. I mean, that's probably less risky, really, for the U.S. than this guy, who is just so blatantly corrupt at this point, so blatantly reckless. It's basically screaming. We'll show you. He's bloviating about the Iranians. Look at this. This is just adolescent. I don't know who's writing these tweets. Is it Trump? Is it Don Jr.? Is it Dan Scavino, who used to run the golf pro shop at the Trump golf course? Who is it? Is it Marco Rubio? Is it Pete Hegseth? Is it some, who's writing this? He says, a massive armada is heading towards Iran. It's moving quickly with great power, enthusiasm, and purpose. What purpose? What purpose? It's the largest fleet ever, the biggest ever, the best ever, says Trump. Bigger than the one we sent to Venezuela. That's scam. And like Venezuela, it is ready and willing and able to rapidly fulfill its mission. What mission? What mission? What mission? 3 weeks ago, it was, we're going to attack Iran to protect the democratic protesters. And then it was revealed these weren't democratic protesters. They were being directed by U.S., Israeli, and likely British intelligence. And they were armed, and they were violent, and they were burning down mosques. They burned hundreds of banks. They killed hundreds, if not more, innocent civilians. Hundreds of police officers in Iran. These foreign actors, and the MEK terrorists, which our government in the U.S. has backed, funded, and trained. And they run a base in Albania, and then they deploy their assets inside Iran for terrorist attacks. Okay? Not to mention U.S.-backed ISIS and Al-Qaeda actors as well. So that's all been revealed. But that was the basis of the attack. Oh, Iran's massacring democratic, peaceful protesters. And all of a sudden, that's gone because it was totally exposed, completely debunked. And now Trump is saying that, it's about nuclear weapons. So he bombed Iran 7-8 months ago and said, we're doing this to keep them from getting nuclear weapons. And then after he did it, he said, we've done it. We've destroyed their nuclear program. Victory. Yay. 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 And now, 6-7 months later, saying, no, well, actually, we didn't destroy it. And we're going to go back in because of the nukes. And next week, it'll be something different. Next week, it's the ballistic missiles. Oh, yeah, it's their missiles. They can't have missiles. He's already pushing this New Deal now, which means they have to give up missiles. They have to break their country into 5 regions. They have to get rid of their government. What else? They can't have nuclear power. They can't sell oil. So basically, you must voluntarily go into the Stone Ages because Trump and Netanyahu believe that's better and it makes them feel more safe. While Israel's massacring people and bombing all of its neighbors. I mean, this is just a joke at this point. This presidency in America is just turning into such a farce. And this is the state of this president. He's all over the place. He wants to start World War III and he can't decide why. He can't decide what the mission is. And he's roped along some of these military people. He's put a Fox News host in charge of the Pentagon. And he's roped in some of these people, probably with promises of riches and fame. But that's what you're looking at, folks. How much of our foreign policy is because of Israeli blackmail And his relationship, he's best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. They were so close. Donald Trump is denying it like it was just some throwaway. I met him a few times. No, you didn't. You knew him very well. And unfortunately, this means Israel has an incredible amount of control over the U.S. government. And Israel will be very happy to see the U.S. go to war. And so this is the question. Is it, will this president, is he reckless enough? Is he that much under the thumb of the Israelis to bring this about? That's the big question. Either allowing Israel to use nukes or the United States using nukes, or pushing Iran, pushing all of your aircraft carriers into the Persian Gulf, asking to be hit, or basically begging Israel to launch a false flag like it did the USS Liberty in 1967 during the Six-Day War, to blame it on Egypt to drag the United States into that war further. And Israel killed dozens of U.S. soldiers and sailors to try to make that story stick. That's how ruthless they were. And guess what? Nothing was done to Israel for that. The U.S. just took it took it in the rear. Incredible. So is it worth it? Is World War III worth it? Just so we can say we stand with Israel, is it worth it? Is global annihilation, the destruction of the global economy, just because of this? Is it worth it? A lot of people will say no. Most people will say no. I think an extreme minority of people will say, yes, it's worth it. We need to defend Israel. Certainly the crazy evangelical cult members who are like begging for the end times scenario to come about, and they believe that this relationship with Israel will hasten the coming of the Messiah, etc. Dispensationalist, complete quackery, but they want to have that self-fulfilling prophecy. So you've got those people, and nut jobs like Mike Huckabee, the current ambassador to Israel from the U.S., who is one of the most unimpressive adults I've ever encountered in my life. I mean, he is just thick as a pallet of bricks. And not only that, he is a total evangelical dispensationalist fanatic, basically. The last person you'd want in a diplomatic position. But of course, that's who Israel requested, and that's what they got, because they run our foreign services, they run our foreign policy, they select all the members of Trump's cabinet. Yes, they did. So meanwhile, while this is going on, foreign central banks are now holding more gold than U.S. treasuries. So just like that, folks, just like that, the U.S. dollar, everybody is fleeing the U.S. dollar. Why? Why are they fleeing the U.S. dollar? Look at that. Gold is the new reserve currency globally. And guess who has accumulated the best reserves for gold in the last 10 years, quietly? China and Russia. China and Russia. They were planning for a rainy day, and that rainy day came. Because they knew the United States, and Donald Trump particularly, has made it so unpredictable. He's running the economy so hot. Threats of tariffs, threats of sanctions. He's accelerated the demise of the dollar. Everyone's dumping their dollars because they don't know what this United States is going to do. Oh, you won't let us take Greenland? Oh, we're gonna threaten you with tariffs, maybe sanctions. Why would you want to hold any U.S. dollars with this presidency? It's a disaster. It's a disaster, and everybody knows it. Now you can't hide it. Trump says the dollar's doing great. Just the other day. I don't have the clip. Maybe we'll show it in the overdrive. Oh, the dollar's really strong. So he says that. Well, of course it is, Donald. Of course it is. Here's Mike Adams, Health Ranger. Gold is the new reserve currency. Treasuries are being dumped everywhere. It's true. Look at that. But the Richard Wolff, see, that's the collapse. So gold, you have to understand the relationship here. Correctly here, Richard Wolff, economist, USSR's decline left the United States empire to reach its peak. We're talking about late 80s, early 90s. At that time, the World Central Bank exchanged their gold for U.S. dollar treasuries. Now, as the U.S. empire goes into decline, right, after 2000 and China rises, those same banks are shifting from U.S. treasuries to gold, ladies and gentlemen. And no amount of fancy dancing by Trump can make that happen. Look at that. This is apocalyptic, folks. This is apocalyptic. And so what does it mean? What's Trump's way out? He wants to lower interest rates. He wants to get the printing press going. That's Trump's plan. He is wanting to fire the Fed chairman of the Federal Reserve because the Federal Reserve doesn't want to create an inflationary cycle and a further disaster for the dollar. Trump doesn't care. Trump's like, yeah, let's just fire up the printing press and let's really make this dollar crash, right? And this is a great cartoon someone sent me this week. He said, imagine working 9 to 5 for 50 years, then the Fed prints 40% of the total money supply and inflates away 20 years of your hard work. That's right. So your money and your retirement buys less because of the fiscal and monetary policy of the U.S. government. And think about COVID. That happened during COVID. This happened, and Trump is doing it here. So Trump is he wants to make Americans poorer by imposing a hidden inflation tax so that he and his buddies can land softly and scoop up real assets while the dollar is still worth something. That's what's happening, folks. That's what's happening. Now, what's Trump's reaction to this? This clip, I just honestly, a U.S. president talking like this, he's someone who's supposed to be knowledgeable about business, or, you think he'd know something about economics. Listen to this buffoon. We're gonna play this in a minute. Hold on, let me bring up this video clip. So Trump's talking about the housing market. And I've never heard anything this, I don't want to use a bad word here, but I'm not going to use the R word. But anyway, you make up your own mind.
Existing housing, people that own their homes, we're going to keep them wealthy. We're going to keep those prices up. We're not going to destroy the value of their homes so that somebody that didn't work very hard can buy a home. We're going to make it easier to buy. We're going to get interest rates down. But I want to protect the people that for the first time in their lives feel good about themselves. They feel like that they're wealthy people. And I want them to understand it. There's so much talk about, we're going to drive housing prices down. I don't want to drive housing prices down. I want to drive housing prices up.
So he claims to be champion of the working class. And on one side, out of one side of his mouth, he's saying we want to make it easier to buy homes. But then he's saying, but we want to drive housing prices up. So what he's saying is he wants people who can't afford a home to somehow get onto another subprime mortgage scam cycle with low interest rates, huge amount of debt, inflated prices, unsecured loans. That's Trump's solution. We already had 2008, Donald. The banks did very well out of that. They got bailed out. Again, he is driving the dollar into the ground. That's all this president has left. This guy, honestly, is economically illiterate. As a U.S. president, it's pretty bad.
The people that own their homes, and they can be assured that's what's going to happen.
My God, let's hear that again, because you have to hear this again.
They're wealthy people, and I want them to understand it. There's so much talk about, we're going to drive housing prices down. I don't want to drive housing prices down. I want to drive housing prices up for people that own their homes,
So he only cares about people that own their homes. He wants to drive housing prices up. He wants to win votes by thinking he can inflate the value of their homes. And at the same time, he's saying that, poor people who can't afford a home should be able to feel like they're rich. What the hell is he talking about? This guy is completely out of his mind. You know, Biden was crazy and senile. We know this. With Trump, he doesn't seem senile, but he's crazy. Slightly different. And I mean, so that's the state of the U.S. presidency. Like, that's where they're at in terms of economics. Here's Peter Schiff. He's always been very, very bullish on gold. And let me see if I can bring this up. So this is what Schiff was saying. This is what happened this week.
Gold is now pulling the rug out from under the U.S. The dollar is going to collapse. The dollar is going to be replaced by gold. Central banks are buying gold to back up their currencies. They're getting rid of dollars. They're getting rid of treasuries. We are headed for an economic crisis, again, that will make the 2008 financial crisis look like a Sunday school picnic. The biggest difference between the crisis that we're about to have and the one we had back then is this one is all in America. It's not going to be exported to the rest of the world. It's not a global financial crisis. It's an American financial crisis.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know, if you're a real conservative, which Trump is not, okay, and none of these MAGA, like yahoos, they're not real conservatives. If they're real conservatives, they'd be wanting to cool down this hyperinflationary cycle and transition to some sane monetary and fiscal policy, if they were real conservatives. Peter Schiff is definitely conservative in that respect. And too bad he's not advising the Trump administration. So they just want to get their scam stable coins, central bank digital currencies. That's what Trump is pushing. Okay, he's got the tech bros, the oligarchs behind him, and they're all like licking their chops right now about just basically cratering the economy. These people, because they've already repositioned all of their money and they're just going to ride the wave because people with capital can do that. So, but here's the results, folks. When Trump's, you know, oh, I'm going to drive housing prices up. Result, total collapse of Trump's working class 2024 voter support base. Look at those numbers. Disapproval rate, 61%. And among independent voters, it's almost down to zero. You cannot win any elections going forward. MAGA is a toxic waste dump. Trump is sold out. He's betrayed his base, and he has betrayed the American people. I think he's just given up on being a leader for the American people. He seems to he's only wanting to lead or people that agree with him or whatever his crazy policies are. Everybody else he holds in utter contempt and will literally send secret masked police over to intimidate or worse, those Americans, people who don't agree with him or don't think he's great. So the whole thing is collapsed. The poll numbers don't lie, folks. This is a disaster, and it's only getting worse. It's getting worse. This will be, if he's not already, in just a few months' time, this will be the most unpopular president in the history of the United States of America since polling began. That's how bad it's getting. Worse than Biden. Again, you'll be praying for Biden to come back at this rate. This is a train wreck. This is a train wreck. So what does Trump do to, regain confidence? Well, he's wanting to get rid of the Fed chairman because he won't do what Donald wants. So he's going to replace him. So here's the guy he's going to replace it with. Who's this guy? Who is this guy? This is Trump's pick for the new Fed chairman. Trump is preparing to nominate Kevin Warsh, who happens to be the son-in-law of Ronald Lauder and a former steering committee member of the Bilderberg Group. Oh, my God. To be the new Federal Reserve chairman, are you kidding me? Bilderberg head? New Fed chairman? I mean, what happened to Donald Trump's fighting the globalists? Like Alex Jones says every 5 seconds. He's fighting the globalists. What's this? Looks like the globalists. Looks like the globalists are in charge of everything now with Trump. He hasn't wasted any time. He's got all of the globalists, the technocrats, the monopolists, and the oligarchs basically in control of everything, and Israel. Those are the globalists. It's not the UN. It's not even George Soros, although he's got Soros's financial brain as head of the U.S. Treasury, Scott Bessent. I mean, no one in MAGA pushed back against that. Looks like the globalists have won. Looks like Donald Trump is the face of the globalists. Donald Trump is the spearhead of the globalists. He has fast-tracked the agenda for the globalists. Donald Trump. Not the radical left. They're all screaming. That's what's happened. Look at this. Bilderberg, new head of the Fed. But he's the son-in-law of Ronald Lauder. Who's Ronald Lauder? Ronald Lauder, is that the same Ronald Lauder? This one? The billionaire who has told Trump to grab Greenland. That's the guy. That's the guy. Heir to the Estee Lauder fortune. That's it, Lauder. Also, just happens to be the president of Israel's most powerful global lobbying institution, the World Jewish Congress. And he's an Israeli mega donor alongside Epstein's cash cow, Les Wexner, that same guy. And his son-in-law is going to be head of the Fed because Trump. Because Trump. Wow. Oh boy, Trump's really sticking it to the globalists, isn't he? Oh, yeah. Donald, you're really giving the globalists a hard time. You know, that's kind of what it boils down to, folks. This is all the same circle of people. Same circle. Mega group, mega donors, billionaire class, Israeli lobbyists, Mary Madelson, Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, Ronald Lauder. It's an elite club, folks. It's an elite club, and they are doing their level best to level the global economy and the United States, as well as Europe and probably everywhere else if they have their way. Everything is a heaping pile of steaming ash except for Israel, if these people have their way. Pretty incredible stuff, isn't it? And meanwhile, we'll throw this out there. The EU's declared the IRGC a terrorist organization, Iran's Revolutionary Guard. Iran's Revolutionary Guard never attacked Europe. And to anyone's documentation, we can't find any terrorist events. But they've done it. Why? Because the Israel lobby has instructed Brussels to do so with pressure from the U.S. That's how it works, folks. They're prepping the ground to make it seem okay to attack Iran because they claim they're a terrorist state. The biggest terrorist government sponsor of state sponsor of terror is the United States of America. There's no one even close. No one even close. And their allies as well. Their Gulf state allies bankrolling the whole thing. So that's where we're at, folks. And sorry to break the bad news to you, you know. But, like, it's better to be realistic about these things than to be sort of delusional. But that's the best we can do. Look, let's break right now and link up with our colleagues for a brief overdrive segment. I'm Patrick Henningsen. You are watching and listening to the Sunday Wire, episode 580. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
For in the final analysis, we all inhabit this small planet, and we are all mortal.
Lately I've been watching the world gone mad. Brothers brothers and sisters full to take a stand, to hate their fellow man, another man. Divide and conquer is the acronym plan. Distract the people, control the story. Don't believe your lying eyes, you know me. Stay in power, no matter what. Play with the doomsday clock. Turn a blind eye and gamble your trust, pushing us to turn to good. Corruption and lies, truth is the crime, will turn to dust. Well-designed misery to keep you on edge, make you believe anything anyone says. Keep it left or right, not top or bottom. Accuse the victim, can't you see we got 'em? Stay in power, no matter what. Playing with the doomsday clock. Turn a blind eye and gamble your trust, pushing us to turn to dust. With captured rights, feudals our time will turn to dust. Industrialized brutality, commercialized cruelty, people as commodity, cheer on war and atrocity, no accountability, perpetual impunity, always have an enemy to hell with all humanity. Stay in power, no matter what. Play with the doomsday clock. Turn a blind eye and gamble your trust, pushing us to turn to dust. Stay in power, cash in the spot. Play with the doomsday clock. Turn a blind eye and join the cause, pushing us to turn to dust. An empire of lies, history rhymes will turn to dust. Digital inmates, scored on every move. Nowhere to hide, nothing to hold on to. Turn to dust, as we turn to dust, as we turn to dust.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Sunday Wire. I'm Patrick Henningsen, your host. We're streaming out live on X, Rumble, also YouTube, BitChute, Facebook Live, audio streams later on iTunes, all across the podcasting circuits as well. I think we're pushing out to about 20 podcast networks on the audio streams as well. We'll be adding new video streams, which we're working on right now, and a big shout out to all our new followers on Upscrolled, sort of the hottest app right now, as a sort of alternative to the censorship farm that is TikTok after its takeover by Larry Ellison and Israel's Unit 8200, Israeli intelligence officials or ex-heads, or who knows what's X these days, but no pun intended. But yeah, so Upscroll has been amazing. Got thousands of new followers in the last couple of days, and really I like the direction that app is going, and some of the features that they're implementing there are going to be great. It's already got some advantages over Instagram, and the engagement we're getting on Upscrolled with just a fraction of the followers we're getting more engagement on Upscrolled with like, I don't know, 1/50th of the followers than on X, which shows you that Elon Musk is throttling certain accounts like ours because he doesn't like the fact that we're pushing out too much truth. Instead, he is providing an open lane to some of the biggest grifters and fake news accounts on the internet, unfortunately. But that's why we have alternatives, and we really appreciate those. So just before I connect our colleagues as well, I want to show this. This is our winter fundraising drive. Again, folks, the response just in the last, I just got a ping from our webmaster. Some donations have come in the first hour of the show. That's amazing. So people have responded to the call from the beginning of the show. So those of you just go to 21st Century Wire, hit the donate button, which is up at the upper left-hand side of our menu at our website. There's links in the show description as well if you're on YouTube. So you can support us there, donate or subscribe and become a member at 21wire.tv. There's a lot of different options. Just go to that section of our website. You'll see this. You'll see all the different options there. So there's tons of different options which you can select. PayPal, crypto, whatever. You can whichever way you want to support us. It's all there. And people are supporting us in different ways, and that's great. So really appreciate you guys. Look, we're gonna hit our goal. We're gonna hit our target on this probably within a week. So hopefully we'll have some good news during the show next Sunday. I look forward to that. So again, appreciate you guys. We're trying to build, not just survive. We've been throttled. We've been censored. We've been deplatformed because of the stuff that we're reporting. Mainstream media writing hit pieces about me. People don't like the fact that we're doing what we're doing, and we're doing it well, even in adversity. And because of your support, our support is so broad-based and so diverse, and all the small donations we get are amazing. And because of that, we are independent. So that's the great thing. And I really appreciate anybody that's supporting this platform. And there's other great independent media platforms as well. I work with some of them, like the UK Column News in the UK. They're also a worthwhile independent media platform to support. And like UK Column, 21st Century Wire has been going a long time, okay? I started in 2009. So we're not a flash in the pan, a podcast that just popped up, or some sort of anonymous X account, or some MAGA podcast that just popped up in the last year or whatever. No, that's not us. And we didn't just pop up during COVID, So we long before, which is why we're able to hit the stories the way we are, because we got experience. When the next round of crisis comes, we can look at all of the different analyses that we've had over the years and very quickly evaluate what's happening and get to the truth. And many of you follow us. You're not surprised at how quickly we get to the point and call things and set the scene for what it truly is. Whereas a lot of media outlets have to wait till it's safe. I called out the Russiagate. I was maybe, I don't know if I was the first, but to say that the Russian hack in the 2016 elections never happened. I called it out before the 2016 election. And for that, I paid a very, very heavy price because those reports went viral, and we paid a huge price for that. We got blacklisted, deplatformed, because we were too early. A lot of people will wait when it's safe. When October 7th happened, we knew exactly what was going on. We didn't wait, or we weren't shy about calling it a genocide. We knew straight away what was happening because we've seen it before. It was just the latest episode in a long-running saga. So if you appreciate the experience that we have with our team and our media platform, our incredible archive with over 10,000 articles and videos at 21stcenturywire.com, support us for this winter fundraising drive. This is your chance. Get involved. This will help support us and set us so we can operate for 2026. So that's why we do this every year. Thank you, everybody who has done that. We'll be recognizing you next week as well. Let me bring on to the stage one of my colleagues here, Adam Clark, a.k.a. Ruckus, Alternate Current Radio. Ruckus, thank you for joining us. I don't know if you caught any of the monologue, but we have this strange convergence, Ruckus, of events, this massive Epstein file dump, and a president that is just gagging to start a major war. It's extraordinary, but what's amazing, Ruckus, is a lot of people are kind of connecting the dots finally on this. We look back in history and seen things that Clinton did, things that Bush did to distract the public or distract the world away from some other disaster or smoldering train wreck in the background. Is that what's happening?
If I can find my mute button. Thanks for having me, Patrick. I apologize to the listeners who tuned in for the first time ever last week. Therefore, they have no idea who I am. They don't recognize me without the mask. Anyways, yes, I did catch the lengthy monologue today, and it made me feel like I caught a bug because it made me feel a little ill, to be honest with you. All of this does. I'm right on the same page with you, as usual, as well as with our friends and colleagues. Like I had posted just the other day, I think it was CoffeeZilla. He's well known for like busting scammers in the cryptocurrency space. And he broke it down like this. He's just a simple, quick little breakdown on the Epstein thing. And he says, new Epstein drop is insane. Gates got STDs and tried to sneak antibiotics to his wife, according to Epstein blackmail. I think he meant to say email. Elon lied about, quote unquote, refusing Epstein Island invitation. Howard Lutnick, interesting fellow, lied about refusing to meet Epstein after 2005. And then Trump and Clinton accusations via FBI tip line. And I bring that up because I reposted that and said that this right here, this post that CoffeeZilla made is the best evidence that I've seen yet that this administration is imminently about to start World War III. And that was just a couple days ago. So I guess we're all on the same feeling here that like, oh my gosh, things are so crazy, so in your face, so out there. What else can they do but the last option? And as you know, Gerald Celente is fond of saying, when all else fails, they take you to war. And I'm afraid that's where we're at, Patrick.
It is. I feel equally as unnerved, and it's nauseating. It's nauseating to look at some of the. Have you seen the videos and the photos of Epstein, Prince Andrew, and obviously a lot of stuff's redacted to protect the victims or those who are being exploited and so forth. But man, you look at that, you cross-reference it with the list, and you see people like Elon and all these other sort of great and good, powerful, all these sort of famous figures and political figures, and it's you just think, wow, what the hell is going on? Seriously, I mean, the stuff. I mean, a lot of these, granted, Ruckus, as you know, these were called into the FBI. They're not all verified, but there's some pretty shocking accusations here. Now, we can't say whether they're true. It involves murder, it involves Trump with murder, and there's all sorts of stuff. I mean, I don't know if snuff films were mentioned in some of these, but it's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy. Now, granted, again, accusations reported to the FBI, so true or who knows? We can't say for sure. But the stuff that is provable is stuff like this, Ruckus. The fact that Elon pretended to be sort of above the fray on this story. You remember? And he's been, using it to sort of troll people and make sort of statements. And he's well in there. They were good friends, Mr. Musk and Mr. Epstein.
I don't know to what degree the closeness of their friendship was. That can't be proven, I guess, at this point. But I see what you're saying, yes.
Well, so, parties on the island. Elon's kind of begging to be invited here. And he publicly said, oh, I was invited, but it's not my scene. Well,
It's almost embarrassing to him because it seems like they felt like he's not good enough for them. Like he's not one of the cool kids. You know what I mean? Like they seriously brushed him off, and it's like I don't know. He even like Epstein passed the buck over to Ghislaine or Ghislaine, however you say her name, to take care of this. He's like, "Hey, can you take care of this?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetie. You just missed him." You know, and I think they were just. He's like the kid that they didn't want at the party. I think. You know.
I know it's weird. So I'm not sure what the backstory on that is, but it's pretty damning. Now, obviously, there's been a swarm of comments on this, as you can imagine, Ruckus, because this story is just so radioactive. But we'll highlight some of the sort of things that people are saying here. I've been a regular viewer of him for a while. He seemed quite uneasy, fidgety, distracted. He may have had a stroke, but he seemed to be okay for it. Who are we talking about here? I'm not sure. This is
probably Trump.
No, it could be Trump. No, it might be a show or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, Microsoft has a new virus. There's that Bill Gates thing. I mean, that's a weird story, the whole Bill Gates thing. I mean, why would antibiotics? You can get those from the shop, right? I mean, if it's an issue and you don't want to have a prescription on the record or something like that, then with Bill Gates, he could probably just like have someone pop down to Mexico and get a month's supply. I mean, money's not an issue, is it?
He was a super nerd. And again, it looks like another, like, again, what I was just saying about Musk is this guy got the brush over from Epstein too. He's like, please don't talk to me about your phallic issues. How dare you come to me about so maybe, Gates isn't cool enough to have friends or figure out how to do things himself. So he's like, well, I know this guy and he hooked me up with the hookers. So maybe he can help me out with the issue. I don't know. It's all so salacious. And then that makes me wonder, is it real? Is any of it real? How much is it real? Is that the point? Is the imminent war with Iran a distraction from the Epstein files, or is it the other way around? Or is all of this a distraction from the impending implosion of the U.S. dollar, which is probably the more likely candidate? Hey, look who it is.
Hesher's joining us here. Bryan McClain, Alternate Current Radio Network. Hesher, welcome to the program. I don't know if you caught any of the opening segment, but we have the strange convergence of these two big stories. A lot of people would say they're not related. I'm going to say they're absolutely related, and one is pushing the other. Your opening thoughts. And welcome to the program.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry I'm a little bit late today, but yeah, Ruckus and I and the team were up pretty late last night doing Boiler Room, and we were looking at all this stuff, and yeah, it's I agree. It's like we've got self-licking ice cream cones in a doom cycle here, basically, these stories.
It is. And do you think it's possible? I mean, do you think this is embarrassing or this is damaging confidence in the U.S. president, this Epstein drop? And if so, is it also possible that this is going to pressure Trump? So in other words, are there actors within the U.S. government controlled by you-know-who that are going to use this to pressure the president to push for this war, to create that distraction away from the domestic debacle? Do you think there's a dynamic going on here?
That's very, very possible. I mean, there's one thing we know about Trump is that, and a lot of these people in his orbit, is their egos are one of the most important things to them outside of whatever, strings are being pulled and buttons are being pushed. So, yeah, I could see that playing a factor here for sure. It's such a massive, like it's like an online mushroom cloud right now, forgive the nuclear analogy, but it's like you just can't see anything but this on, particularly X right now, and all over the place. It's absolutely insane. And it's like, what's with the whole, like, if you look back through the first year of this presidency, it's like, okay, before presidents, like, we're going to get this guy. We're going to get all those associated with him. We're going to release the files. A bunch of these people are going down, period. Hands down. Vote for me. And then it was like, Give us time. It's on the desk. Give us time. It's on the desk. Scam Blondie's looking at it. It's on the desk. Don't worry about it. It's so much stuff. And then it was like, well, we're busy redacting it. We've got everybody working on redacting it, right? This is a few months later. And then a couple of weeks later, it was like, that guy, what are you talking about? There's nothing there. Sorry, everybody. There's nothing there. Sorry we made so much noise about it. And now, boom, another big drop. Actually, last time, email drop, kind of medium-sized email drop. What's this all about? This time, a big drop. And then, boom, it's gone. And then, boom, it's back. But with extra redactions. It's like, I'm having a hard time just like figuring out how to compartmentalize that as a normie, you know, like I'm just like not looking at it from conspiracy angle or what's it mean or what's it distracting from, like even just like straight down the road. That is extremely hard to process, like the whole bouncing ball of we're going to do this, then this, then this, and this. And now we're at this point, and this point feels like full-blown chaos as far as the Epstein story is concerned. It's just like, it's too much for most people to comprehend that whole thing. So to get back to your original question, I think that yes, if it's made this way on purpose, right? Or if there's 2 or 3 warring factions that are dropping data, removing data, changing data, and changing the narrative, it absolutely could be something that is meant to be distracting us at a very, very high level, because something else is going on and something else is about to happen.
Well, that's what this commenter is sort of echoing as well, Hesher, here. This is Hamadovich Naz says, suggestion about Israel blackmailing Trump to oblige him to strike Iran with leak of some files of Epstein dossier is too narrow. Something much more serious is going to happen. You know, when we're talking about something, what's more serious than the U.S. dollar falling from its status as a world reserve currency? I can't think of anything more serious historically than that. And that brings us, to this tweet by Mike Adams and others have pointed out, gold is the new reserve currency. I mean, gold's like over $5,000. I mean, holy smokes per ounce. Silver above 100. Wow. Treasuries are being dumped left, right, and center. The dollar's collapsing in real time. It is. It is. Look at the central bank reserves on this. I mean, the only thing that's preventing the United States from going full-blown Weimar is that Japan is being nice and not dumping all their dollars. China is being nice as well. They're not dumping all because they don't want to crash the economy. But it's like Trump's doing everything possible to crash the economy. He wants to, bring in low interest rates. He wants to bring in a new Fed chairman. That's basically former head Bilderberg steering committee member. Son-in-law of Ronald Lauder. I mean, I can't believe. Why don't you just put Jared Kushner in charge of the Fed? I mean, why? Just make Kushner Fed chief. Make, whatever. Bring in whoever. I mean, Jesus. Right. Make Alan Dershowitz the attorney general. I mean, come on, Donald. Just like, put the Treasury Department in the Pentagon. Just nest it under the Department of Defense.
Right. Why not?
Sanction everybody.
Yeah. I mean, while we're being honest, while we're emperor with no clothes here in this government, might as well, I mean,
Patrick, you mentioned China has a lot of gold, right? And who else? Russia, right?
Yep.
You know who else has a lot of gold, apparently?
Who?
That would be Tether. And who has ties to Tether? Oh, Howard Lutnick. But yes, Tether they own more gold than most of the central banks.
Oh my goodness.
So
wow.
Let that sink in. And how close to the current administration is Howard Lutnick? Oh, he's part of the current administration. And he was also close to Jeffrey. Interesting.
And he's Trump's handler. He is everywhere you see Trump, you see Lutnick in the background.
Sometimes in the bathroom with Lindsey Graham.
He's just hiding in the curtains. I know, it's just freaky, isn't it? Like on the tarmac in Air Force One, there's always Lutnick. In the Oval Office, there's Lutnick. So why is the Commerce Secretary everywhere? He's almost like watching what Trump's saying. If you watch Clock Lutnick, all these clips, he's watching the lips of Trump, checking every single word he's saying, almost like checking to see if he's saying the right thing that he was told to say. That's kind of what it seems. And where's Lutnick's direct line to? It's to Tel Aviv. And who ran Trump's transition team and shortlisted all the cabinet picks? Howard Lutnick and Jared Kushner. Did you vote for Howard Lutnick or Jared Kushner? Was he on the ballot? Were they on the ballot?
No.
I can't remember seeing them on the ballot. It just must have, I must have missed that. I was voting, well, people were voting for, Republican candidate. Was Netanyahu on the ballot? I've never seen a U.S. presidency, a government that it's so blatantly obvious that the Americans are not in charge.
It's bizarre. I've had that feeling many times. Like, okay, who's in charge here? But this time it's like, oh, these guys are in charge. Oh, these guys. Lutnick was let's see, Shadow of Ezra over at X. That account. Anyway, they say new Epstein files reveal that U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick personally made plans to visit Jeffrey Epstein on a private island with his children, according to the email. The email reads, quote, "I have another couple with me on my boat, and each of us has 4 children," end quote. Lutnick has publicly stated in an interview that he vowed to never be in a room with Jeffrey Epstein ever again after meeting him in 2005. So this is kind of an interesting A-B comparison here on Shadow of Ezra, because it's got the email saying, I've got another couple with their kids with me. We're coming to the island. And then there's a video interview of Lutnick with some ABC reporter or something in 2005. And he tells this very detailed story of Jeffrey saying something creepy in front of him and his wife, and then makes up this fake lie about, oh, I told my wife I would never be in the same room with that guy again. And here he is in this email dump years later saying, yeah, we're coming. We're on the way. We're bringing our kids with us and another couple.
We've got lots of children, Jeff. Oh my goodness. These people are too much.
It's so creepy, man. It's so creepy. It's almost like this release is giving credence to the overabundance and overuse of the PEDO word that has been tossed around egregiously and sometimes correctly and many times incorrectly since the Pizzagate incident. Like this stuff is just meant to snowball that whole thing. And, people have been suspicious about this for a long time, and now they've got even more fuel for that fire.
So this Tehran is ready to reach an agreement with Washington on Al Jazeera News. That's pretty meaningless. Al Jazeera has been running some pretty bad propaganda on this issue of recent. Plus, with Trump, there's no agreement. It's just like a deal, and if he thinks that minute that it's a good deal, and then it's not a good deal, and nothing's binding, nothing sticks, and they've more or less decided what they're going to do. The only thing that's going to stop the U.S. and Israel is if other powers start to move in to align themselves with Iran, like China and Russia. And we've already seen some joint naval exercises between Russia and China in the Straits of Hormuz with the Iranians. That's quite a strong signal, I would think. That's going to make the United States think twice, at least maybe pause. But what do you guys think about the U.S. putting aircraft carriers in the Persian Gulf with all those naval assets? Are we asking for trouble? Is that like false flag bait for Israel? I kind of think there's a risk there. What do you think?
Or Iran could just take one out. It doesn't always have to be a false flag. We're finally at the moment where somebody's going to do the thing. You know what I mean?
Who would benefit the most, though?
Well, okay, clearly, Israel in the West. But yeah, so I don't know. Iran has been so reserved for so long. But I mean, for how long can people do that? How long do you put up with it until you finally snap? So I don't know. They've been trying for a long time to get them to snap. Maybe they will. We'll see. You never know.
There's a lot of Modi trolls in our comment, I've noticed. Modi somehow was in the Epstein files. So I think he's getting trolled or something or other.
Yeah, something about his mother. There was an email in there about his mom being at some of those parties or something like that. That's, I don't know. I've seen so much of this stuff at this point. It's all so gross and icky. It doesn't stick to my brain very well.
What do you guys think of this? Trump wants to crash the dollar and then bring in the need for converting to a digital currency. Is this the big one?
That's the one I'm riding right now. Yeah, I've had that idea for a minute now. Yeah,
that's definitely
concerned about that. Yeah,
definitely a long pole in the tent here, because it's like, why? And I think the reason, and this all kind of relates, this all connects, but I think the reason is why people can't understand, why would people in government do things that would destroy our economy? Well, this is why. It's not a destruction. It's a reset of an economy in their eyes.
Exactly, gentlemen. I think these things are absolutely correlating. So there's definitely a financial reset underway. I believe, based on the trading patterns of the major Wall Street institutions on gold and silver the last 3 days, that there was a sort of engineered position, because there's two prices, one in Beijing and one in America. That doesn't make any sense. So it means they're trying to control the fallout from this. So yeah, there's
the prices fell off a cliff since that chart you were holding up there. So
yeah,
but I guess it's because of the margins. I don't know how all of this properly works, but basically the paper gold didn't match the real price of the real gold, and so it's like, you had a fall there. I guess somebody somewhere made a butt ton of money. I guarantee that.
Yep. Patrick, trust the plan. Satan's little helper, Peter Thiel. Manchurian candidate J.D. Vance comes to 48th president. Oof, scary. 48th president. J.D. Vance is 41 years old. He's basically a teenager yesterday, 5 minutes ago.
By the way, the digital currency dovetails nicely with the push for digital IDs, push for control online, and also with all of the technocratic police state stuff and the even the recent ICE things that we're seeing here in the U.S. It's all going to tie together somehow, unfortunately.
Yep. A lot of people are spelling Lutnick's name wrong. So
Oops, little typo.
Download Grammarly, folks. It'll help on that sort of thing. They don't want the House of Cards to fall on a real politician. That's an interesting angle. Yeah. JT Menza, is this the role Trump is playing? And there's also the alternative, third parties emerging. Diddy will be out of prison at some point soon, and he is threatening to start a new oil party. So,
the Slickercrats
start one, and how that didn't go anywhere, right? The New American Party or whatever it was.
New oil party, yeah. Sort of energy independence. P. Diddy. Can see the bumper stickers now. Okay. Yes. Would you rather have U.S. paper dollars, stablecoin dollars, or gold? Oof. Flavius 3896. That's quite a profound question, actually. What would you rather have? Or is it a question of either or are we having to deal with this stable coin situation?
It is. That's actually a tough one to answer because, ideally, sorry about that. Ideally, we would go gold, right? And that would make everything easier. But how do we exchange money without being face to face if we're doing that? That is actually the answer, but it doesn't work really for everybody in the current society.
Ruckus, what do you think? You have a preference?
Well, that out of the synthesis of this argument will probably emerge Bitcoin or something like it. It'll be like, and it'll appear to be like, oh, this is the ultimate answer, and this is what we chose, and this is what we wanted, and it's great, and it's transparent, and it's this, and it probably won't be behind the scenes as usual.
Yeah, what you'll see is Bitcoin's taking a massive dive while this gold run is going on. But then as people make their gains on gold, then they'll sell, and then they'll want to they're not going to keep their stuff in dollars, are they? So they'll probably push it into Bitcoin. and it'll drive that market up.
If it worked the way it could work or should work, if any of this is above board, because I understand the conspiracy theories about Bitcoin and everything, that's fine. But let's assume Bitcoin is cool and it does what it's supposed to do and whatever, and it's the real ultimate digital form of money that replaces gold. Because what Hesher said, you can't. How do you exchange gold between people in today's economy? You can't. But
yes.
Bitcoin can potentially, technically, serve as a limited resource, finite amount of it. It's got all the things baked into it. So it could work if that becomes the new backing of whatever the new dollar is. So that's the other issue, and the elephant in the room is, so if they come out with this new accepted stable coin, like the US stable coin or whatever it is, that maybe everybody around the world accepts this one world coin. Oh God, sorry, Sam Altman has a world coin. So maybe that, but it would have to be backed by something. And like Hesher said, gold and all this stuff, the ultimate solution would be something such as Bitcoin, if not Bitcoin itself. Because a lot of these big players do run around and they say things, including the head of BlackRock, Larry Fink, who used to be against Bitcoin back in the day. So was JP Morgan. They all run around and say that talking point. They say, I believe Bitcoin is digital gold. Why would they say that if there's not some meaning to that, right?
Yeah, so custodial, and the fact that it's backed by, well, theoretically by energy and energy supply. So there is something, tethering it. I said tether, which is just arbitrage, by the way. I mean, everyone's using tether for arbitrage. Clearly, this is a huge tool for the crypto market. But so is the U.S. dollar has been used for arbitrage, and that's no longer a safe bet, maybe, currently. Howard Lucky Lutnick. Yeah, there's a lot of lucky guys in New York. Howard Lutnick in the World Trade Center, Cantor Fitzgerald. And that was owned by another lucky guy named Larry, Lucky Larry. Remember Lucky Larry, you guys?
Very lucky.
I think the best thing to do is it's been tremendous loss of life. I think the best thing to do is just pull it. Just pull it. I told him just pull it. What does that mean? What does that mean?
All these years later, we're still wondering. It's just one of the great mysteries.
It doesn't mean what you think it does, you guys. Pull it.
No.
It means up. It means pull out of the building. Pull out of the building. Get everybody out. Get everybody safe, right? No,
yeah. Okay. Before the fires make it turn to dust in seconds. Okay.
See, this is a joke here, but it's not much of a joke. This is a terrible PFP image, by the way. Gone Commando 314. Very clever, though. We have to give props to this.
I like it.
He says, Mr. T's got all the gold. Now, you guys talked about how do you exchange and custodial stuff like that. Well, that in other countries in history, they wear the gold. You wear the gold. If you're trying to escape out of Russia or Soviet Union early days, or Jews fleeing Russia, it would bake the gold into biscuits and try to get over the border with their gold disguised as biscuits, kind of thing. But those are the olden days.
Yeah.
Today's the same. If that is indeed hard money, how are you going to pass through borders with physical gold? I mean, it could easily get confiscated. Well, the U.S. government might just call it all in, right? Because haven't they done that before in the past? Confiscated all the gold.
I'd just make a run for it. Sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit.
There you go.
And then there's the other modern factor of owning gold. I mean, look at the amount of up and coming young rappers who made a certain amount of money and had a presence on Instagram, whatever, and then were hunted down and shot dead so that some thug could steal their gold. Like, just imagine that in sort of a without rule of law world, or a transitional space where the police aren't helping people. Like, running around with gold is very dangerous, probably at that point. And I don't know. It's just, why can't we all just get along? Why can't we all just have Bitcoin as an option and not have all these central bankers and ghouls and creeps and specters coming in and trying to take control of the whole thing by burning it down. That's my pie in the sky for the day. Could someone make that happen?
And I noticed there is a severe lack of reporting. If you look at the lead stories of our big mainstream outlets, they're not talking about the U.S. dollar collapsing. I'm not seeing that. And that kind of worries me. I mean, it's on some of the financial, like I showed you Peter Schiff on Fox Business and Jim Cramer. I think what Cramer is it CNBC? Cramer's saying that silver is going to go down and the gold's. So usually the Cramer rule is whatever Cramer says, you do the opposite, right? So a lot of people are going long on metals because Cramer's saying it's all going to crash. Here we go. CNBC warns about upcoming civil war against the oligarchs. Well, you guys, when you're talking about trillionaires and these guys are running rentier economy schemes and jacking up the price of pretty much everything, our energy, our water is going up because of these guys' data centers, and plowed all their money. The other guys on the hydrocarbon side are plowed our money into fracking. What's fracking heavy on? Fresh water. So man at the bottom, plebs at the bottom, getting crushed on basics. Inflation. So Trump wants to lower interest rates and print more dollars and raise the defense budget to $1.5 trillion. What's that going to do to this price of a Hesher? It's coming. A tuna sandwich.
We're going to hit $30? We're going to hit $40?
Tuna sandwich.
Is it going to be a $50 tuna sandwich? I mean, where does it stop?
Wow.
What's an oil change cost in that economy? What's a babysitter cost in that economy? What does a new car cost in that economy? What if you can't sell your used car when you need to sell your used car because of that economy? You know what I mean? It's like it goes real quick from like those high level things to, oh my gosh, how do I feed my family? How do I get by this month?
The robots are going to save everybody and we get universal high income. Just ask Elon.
Robots will drop by, scan your face for your digital ID, give you your new UBI card, and make sure your jab status is where they want it. And, then you can go to the bread line or whatever. Then you can go get some bugs, right? Then you can go get a gel bar made of freaking crickets. Take it home to your wife. How's that sound, everybody?
We're not far off, folks. Cricket. They pushed the cricket flour in the supermarket a couple of years ago, and it was like full shelves. Nobody bought it.
Now they've lifted some of the regulations on it, and they're just putting it as an ingredient in foods. It's all over the place. We follow a couple of these health channels.
Really?
Yeah. There's one person in particular. I can't remember her name, but she has been going through the ingredients, right? Like she goes through with her phone and she uses AI and scans all the ingredients on stuff. And I can't believe how many normal products that like we grew up on now have bugs and crickets and stuff like that inside of them without saying on the box that it's there. They use the like scientific name ingredient.
Tuna is the new goldfish. Look at this one, guys. Philly cheesesteak was $18 last time I bought. It's been a while. Can't justify cost. So now I'll make myself.
Yeah.
Make your own sandwiches.
Right. At least then you can choose where the meat comes from and stuff. People are really worried about all this mRNA tech being in so much of the farm animal supply.
Yep. Yeah. Vaccinated livestock. It's just a huge cash cow. Another one. No pun intended. Okay, here we go.
You're milking it today, Pat.
So many unfortunate puns just falling in.
I got to get the. There he goes. Got to bring that back. Bring the drums back. Okay, we're ready. I'm getting some shtick here, some pushback. You guys here. Defer2 says, "Stop it, Pat. Don't give these idiots any more airtime. Let's talk future solutions." So he's basically saying, don't give Epstein or Lutnick or any of these guys airtime. We need to talk solutions, but part of the solution is getting rid of these people as well. Like they need to get out of government. At some point, I think it was the famous quote by Bob Marley, you can't have justice if the people making the rules are criminals.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
well, forgive us, defer to, but we've also learned over the years that, you know, people like you that get it feel this way sometimes, but that there's a lot of other people watching and listening that need to hear this message or aspects of these messages many times as they relate to different current event things for it to click. And we have gotten a lot of feedback from people that said, I used to really think this. And then I, spent a year watching you guys and I kind of like have shifted a little bit. They're not crediting us for it, but they're saying, hey, sometimes I have to hear something a whole bunch of times to break the ingrained and installed pattern in here. So, that is something that we deal with and that we think about a lot too.
There's a massive shortage in silver. How could I possibly go down? How could it possibly go down in the long run? Well, there's different types of silver. Like Ruckus was saying, there's the paper silver. There's the sort of gambling market. There's the physical silver. There's numismatic coins. There's silver to yet be mined. So I would say I'm not a financial advisor, but the ones that I know who said, 6 months ago, get into mining stocks. Those guys all made an incredible amount of money in the last couple of months. Mining stocks, gold, silver, mining companies. Can't lose. Just like people who invested in Bitcoin mining tech 3 years ago, made tons of money. Yeah, mining. So, yeah, there's different aspects of that supply chain. Yeah, silver is always going to have that industrial demand, which is, I think now their markets they've suppressed silver for so many years. J.P. Morgan and all these people taking these short contract positions because they didn't want this apocalypse to happen. So I guess they've let the floodgates open now, and we're about to hit. The paper fiat dollar. The only thing keeping it from hitting rock bottom is the goodwill and restraint of the Japanese and the Chinese and the Europeans as well. They've got more dollars in the European central banks. They could dump, but I mean, they'd be well within their rights to dump with all the tariff threats and, we're going to take Greenland and all this stuff. Yeah, go ahead. I think that nuclear option, Trump, I don't know. It's why would a U.S. president, unless he's not really, he doesn't have the American people's welfare at heart, and he's really just probably running an agenda for, a handful of billionaires and trillionaires who want to basically own the next reset, the next system, the next reserve digital whatever CBDC empire. Is that who he's working for? Because I can't see making all Americans poorer overnight. That's good for the American people. I just can't see the benefit.
Mm-mm. And that weird comment he made at the World Economic Forum about home ownership and all that was indicative of what you're feeling right now, I think, too. It's almost like he was saying, well, if you're already doing well enough to own a house, we don't want you to lose it. But for everybody else, the rug's about to come out. It was such a strange statement. I watched it 2 or 3 times and it was just like, this is not good. I don't know exactly what he's saying here, but it is not a good sign.
Yeah. There's all sorts of numismatic coins are way too expensive. There's a small percentage of the numismatic value on top, but basically they're giving you spot prices on gold and silver coins, Liberty dollars, British sovereigns, silver. It's probably the easiest way to buy and the easiest one to sell, quite frankly. If you're buying bars or even ounces, they have to be authenticated, and you can't. They're not very liquid. So
that's the thing, man. If you buy, Ruckus and I know this, after we lost our last job, we were running around trying to sell silver and stuff. And there's gatekeepers, you know what I mean? Like, unless you really know what you're doing and know someone that really is looking out for you, you're just going to go to some storefront with a, cage door, and they're going to lowball you on what your silver is worth. And you're going to come out, probably not much more wealthy than you were just holding that piece of silver, wondering how you're going to go buy your $20 tuna sandwich with it.
No, sell it peer to peer. Do it online. Like I did well selling mine almost a year ago now on eBay. But when we tried to take it to a local storefront, they'll give you like 30% of the spot value. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's shocking.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, my friend bought. He got into some money a few years ago, and he bought a couple kilos of silver in a pretty big bar, and he was really bummed at that time because it's like silver was dropping below 20, and anyway, he held his money. And we were thinking, well, maybe he should have done it a different way. And now that guy's laughing.
Yeah, I bet.
he's quietly laughing, and I'm so happy for him because he deserves it. He really went all in on the silver, like to the detriment of everything else.
Oh wow.
Big gamble, like almost went destitute. But held fire, and look at that. Now he's the one laughing.
Yeah.
I think he bought that bar for about, at the time, probably about $5 or $6 grand. It's a good chunk of silver.
Yeah.
And that's it's about 30 grand now. Something like that.
Wow.
So good on him. Good on him.
They want solutions. There's a solution, Deffer, right there. There's a solution for you. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we can suggest solutions, but we don't know that they'll work. There's just so many vectors of potential doom right now, and like, you can focus on one or the other or 4 or 5 or however many you can multitask out. But you know what I mean? Like, you can get your bug out place. We know people that are way into this, have 75 acres in the woods, bug out ready, all their water, food, hunting ground, all that. There's still eventualities that can come and destroy all that preparation. So, solutions. I get you. I hear you, man.
You're right there, American. You catch your rainwater, man. Look at with the cost of water. That's a solution right there. You're in profit. You catch if you're in a sort of high rain environment or moderate, just start collecting your rainwater. I know in California they'll probably come with a SWAT team if you try to do that. I mean,
yeah, they might.
Solar. I mean, that'll almost get you swatted in California, putting solar panels up on your.
Unfortunately, the real solution for the issue in our country here, as far as America is concerned, is one we can't really discuss or attempt to exercise, although it's baked right into our founding documents, and it's how we started this country. But, when you see how any organic attempt to try to, enforce the laws inside of our Constitution as far as representative government of the people, by the people, et cetera, then, they Jan 6 you. You see what I mean? So you can't even discuss it on programs, or you're a domestic terrorist. You're trying to overthrow the government, and you're just like, gosh darn, what do we do? Literally, like, solutions. It's all independent, and it's on your own networking and community. Like, I like to follow Derek Bros, of course, if you're all familiar with him. He does work with the Last American Vagabond. He has his own stuff called the Conscious Resistance, but that's his whole bag, baby. So if you're into that, how to build a community and a network outside of these things. James Corbett is also interested in discussing these types of things. So, I don't have the answer for you or for the entire country, other than, again, what we're not allowed to say or do or think about, or even, oh my gosh, it was fine 250 years ago, obviously, but not anymore. So you do you, and that's my ultimate suggestion. And the ultimate solution is, if you're like a believer in some sort of faith, is to fully put your trust in some higher power, because ultimately all this other crap doesn't matter, right? So there's your ultimate solution right there.
100% agree with that. Ruckus.
Russia.
And, let's say Russia. Same as the Venetians did with the Roman Empire collapse. Good point, says Darth X0. That you're talking about reset. There's a good historic comparison. That's about as accurate as anything that we've seen come through today. So yeah, absolutely. Well done, Darth X. The Venetians and the collapse of Rome. Can't eat silver and gold in a downgrid event. Seeds, tools, bullets, books, water filters. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Derek Bros is amazing stuff he's doing, that he's been doing. Very talented individual as well, and incredibly smart. And he's really developed a lot of really good things. So yeah, that stuff's really coming into its own right now. I thought it was because of COVID, but this is like another level. COVID was like that kind of repression, lockdowns. You wanted to seal yourself off in an intentional community. Now you got this monetary issue with fiat money. Wow. Which affects everything in terms of cost, access. And not only that, the data centers, you guys, you're going down, brownouts, blackouts. Forget about the electric car grid. Forget that. It's
Trump warp speeded the miracle jabs, and then of course, almost on day one in his second administration, he warp speeded the AI data centers. So it's kind of in your face, right?
And he's been recently hailed by a political Zionist, I can't remember who it was, for warp speeding a lot of things going on in the Middle East, in Israel and Gaza and all that. So we started last night, we were positing about this, and one of our chat members took the P's out of warp and speed. If you drop the P's from that, it says war seed. Just an interesting little language thing that one of our listeners picked up last night. But I started wondering if maybe this whole concept of warp speed is actually needs to be zoomed out a little bit and sort of looked at in the framework of Trump's entire 2 presidential sittings, because warp speed, it was like warp speed, just chaos and argumentation and legal stuff and culture war in Trump 1.0 and 45. But then in 47, warp speed means something totally different.
Money has become some people's god. It's all part of the pagan debt slave system, says
Interchangeable.
Steve Yoy 812. Yeah, it is become some people's god, 100%. That's also something that's emerging as the misers are out in force right now. So the Scrooges of the world are in their sort of element at the moment here, hoarding and petting their gold like it's a award-winning terrier retriever or whatever at the Kensington Dog Show or whatever. I see people petting their gold coins every night. China's new permanent lithium battery tech uses silver. They are buying as much as they can. There's your industrial use, you guys. So the thing is, this AI data set, we'll wrap up this overdrive segment in a minute, guys, but this what is this consensus that we need to have an AI run data center run new matrix world? And how is this actually going to improve our lives as humans on this planet? I've not had a good convincing sales pitch myself on this. What do you think? I mean, 24/7 surveillance for our own safety?
Nope. No thanks. No thanks. It makes me think back to a boiler room that we did in 2018, and we were talking about, it's a alphabet soup thing. I don't ever remember the name of the organization properly without going and finding the source, but just off memory, in 2018 there was a new board of some sort that was set up in the funding for the 2018 NDAA. And the board consisted of Eric Schmidt, a whole bunch of the tech bros, right? Google represented, Larry Ellison probably, all those people, and then a whole bunch of intelligence people and some politicians and a lot of industry people, right? And the whole mission of this government body, which is really not even a government body unless you look at it as a fascistic government full of tech bros, which you might. The point of it, though, was to look at what China is doing in regards to robotics, nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, and like CBDCs, all the pillars of technocracy. And this board, their whole mission was to make sure that America kept pace or was ahead of China as it pertains to what you just described, a technocratic panopticon control grid. And in 2018, when we saw this and we read the white paper and the establishing document and the people on the board, we said, this is very, very bad. And that board has, I believe it was Whitney Webb that I was referencing. I think she was writing for Mint Press at the time, or maybe TLAV, I'm not sure. But it just kind of faded away. And, it was just a little too much for people to be up in arms about at the time. And we kind of knew it was headed to a place like this, but we didn't know what the geopolitical environment and the national political environment was going to be when we got here. But we are here now, and we saw it through COVID. We saw this government printing $7 trillion to do exactly that, to quote unquote keep up with China. And when they say nanotech, they're talking about mRNA. When they say AI, they're talking about these data centers and the destruction of what we know as our foundational life, our finances, our ability to do commerce and business and raise families and pursue life, liberty, and happiness. That shit all goes away.
Yeah.
In the new reset.
That's right. That's right. That's the problem. That's the problem with it. Do not realize the implications of this. It's amazing. Okay, listen up, you guys. Last thing. Okay, Big B in the bonnet. Great comment here by Gogzillion743. Pat, where's AJ's Chi-Coms gone? The Chi-Coms. We're talking about Alex Jones. So, and I raised this point in the opening segment. Okay, Alex Jones. Trump's stopping the global. He's fighting the globalists. I get his alerts every day in my email box. Alex Jones. Trump takes on the globalists, taking down the globalists, doing this to the globalists, the globalists, the globalists. And then we see this. Trump is nominating head of the Bilderberg Steering Committee as the new Federal Reserve Chairman, who happens to be the son-in-law of Ronald Lauder. Okay, and so Musk bought his way into the White House. Palantir owns them. Israel's running a giant digital global Spectre network, plus all the CBDCs and all these control grids being fast-tracked right now at literal warp speed. So what about the globalists? Was it Trump is battling the globalists, right? Trump's fighting the globalists. Like, when are we going to put this one to rest? And when is Alex Jones going to come clean and say, look, Donald Trump is the face of the globalists. It's not the UN. It's not the UN. It's like not the John Birch Society anymore, folks. Trump is wanting to replace the UN with a privatized, globalist-run board of peace that's actually gangster globalist. You got to pay $1 billion bribe to buy your way into the golf club. Like, that seems quite dystopian to me, but maybe I'm just naive and I'm not trusting the plan, guys. I don't know. Chi-Coms.
Trying to separate Trump and anyone in the Trump administration from globalists at this point, get out of here. That's a Trump 45 grift. Trump 45 was grifting on the whole globalist thing. Didn't even go on Alex Jones's show before he was elected the first time and rant about globalists. And who is King Turd globalist now? Who's King Turd political Zionist now? What's a bigger globalist than a political Zionist? Someone please correct me if I'm on the wrong scent.
Also, where's police state Alex Jones?
Where's that guy?
Missing that guy right about now, too, especially on the news that we just reported last night. Some new breaking news about those. They're going to take over some warehouses and convert them into detention centers, presumably for all of these illegal citizens and whatnot. But my guess is it's for us. in the future, or for the MAGA crowd once the Democrats are back in control. You know how that works.
Right.
Yeah, it's so funny, it's Trump, first term, Operation Warp Speed, had all the heads of those vaccine companies at the White House, and I remember that. These are great companies. We've got Pfizer, we've got Moderna, we've got Sanofi here. Great people, great companies. That didn't work out too well, did it? That whole thing. And then now Trump is doing it again. So again, Alex, how is Trump fighting the globalists? I mean, just please tell me how this works.
It looks more like a red carpet being rolled out for globalists to me.
So, and you know what else is crazy here? Yeah, Operation Warp Speed was Warp Speed globalism.
That's
there you
exactly
go.
It. Yep.
There you go. Oh, a plot twist incoming. There'll be a victory after victory for Trump in the next 18 months. Trust the plan, guys. So, last thing, Epstein files. Did you happen to catch that bit about Ghislaine Maxwell being a huge moderator on Reddit? On one of the Reddit boards that was running QAnon. So, guys, what do you think? QAnon, Israeli op? We knew it was an op, right? We didn't know who was behind it. Imagine Epstein behind QAnon. Wow. And that was used to backstop Trump with this whole cult. And he had, Michael Flynn was into QAnon. That's just scary, isn't it? Former national or security or defense intelligence head or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, QAnon. Alex Jones promoted QAnon massively at the beginning. He helped to really kind of make that thing take off. And that was an Epstein op. But Trump's fighting the globalists. It's globalists. He's taking it to the globalists. Really taking it. They can really take it to the globalists, I'm telling you. Yep. Is that a new stable coin? COINTELPRO. If you take the first 4 letters, Ruckus, it could be a coin. COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO.
Cointel.
Or Telpro coin. That'd be a good stable coin, wouldn't it?
It's too close to Cointelegraph, which is an outlet that reports on cryptocurrency. They might get mad.
You could look at that. Pet it. Clever. JT Manza. Very clever.
Yeah.
Yep. Here's someone saying here, Patrick, how come you missed Garland's show last Friday? Actually, I was booked to be on Garland Nixon's show, but it was 10 o'clock my time, and I sat down to take a quick nap after doing the UK column news that day. It's very intense Fridays. And you know what happens when you just say, I'm just going to take a 5-minute. And then the 5 minute, and I woke up and I went,
yeah,
straight on the email. So yeah, we're going to reschedule for this week, hopefully. So yeah, we'll catch up with Garland. I love Garland. He is amazing. Garland Nixon, he's one of the top guys.
Definitely. He's been on Sunday Wire before too, right? We've had him a couple times, I think.
Yeah, Garland's amazing. So here we go. Yeah, last but not least, he's putting the money from Venezuela oil into Qatar. I don't think so. I somehow
maybe eventually, but first, here's the fun thing about the Venezuela thing. We, the citizens of the United States, have to put in about $86 billion, I think, before we can actually take the oil. Remember, it was like, we're going to take the oil. We actually have to pay to take the oil. Go figure. Land people and oil people need money to get it, and move it. And stuff,
so a bailout for selected companies to afford to maybe get the. Okay, I see.
And we pay for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Socialized, privatize the profits, socialize the losses. That's the U.S. government, isn't it? Yeah. That's how it works. That's it. So again, you guys, there's alternatives. Diddy will be out. He'll start the oil party. So invest in oil, not crude oil per se, but Johnson & Johnson's.
Does Sam Bankman-Fried get to come out too with him? I mean, are they going to let them both out together?
I think he's going to probably launch a new coin when he gets out, and all will be forgiven.
Right.
Yep. Steph Curry's
speaking of people getting out of jail, acquitted and stuff, the jury on the 22nd of this month, so approximately a week ago, a little over a week ago, a jury in Texas acquitted the Uvalde officer of failing to act during the school shooting. So that officer, I don't know how they can pin it on one because there were hundreds of them there. But anyway, the one they put up as the poster child for you didn't do your job and a bunch of kids died, he's acquitted. He's out. It's all good for him.
Failure to act sounds like an award that should be given out at the Oscars.
Yeah, it does.
Who would you give the failure to act award to?
Oh, there's so many good nominees and candidates every year. It's hard to say. I think I'd just go straight and give it to Donald Trump this year. Terrible actor.
Failure to act. Yeah, bad actors. Yeah, and he wants to take down the Cuban government because, of course, Cuba has attacked the United States, right? Right?
I'm giving the failure to act award to Grok, X's AI program.
There you go. Are you saying Grok's a person now? Does it have personhood?
Well, Grok thinks it does, I'm sure.
Trumpstein was telling India to buy oil from Venezuela, not Iran. Oh my God, what a scam! The Venezuela Rubio. These people should be in prison for what they're doing. They're sanctioning Venezuela and then saying, we're going to take the oil and put it into a special account. We'll give them market prices, but we won't give them the money. But we'll give them enough money to go back to the Venezuelan people. So you've been sanctioning Venezuela so they can't sell oil, and what oil they could sell, Maduro's government's putting it back into social programs. Like, that's all he was doing, was giving it to the Venezuelan people. How do you stay in power under those conditions if you're not doing stuff for the people? Hello? I mean, these people are criminals. Rubio is such a... speaking of, I mean, oil, he's like, between Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio, grease him up and there'll be like a couple of pigs at the state fair. Anyway.
Oh, Pat, check out this one. This is a good one. Thanks, recovering to you. Wait, where'd it go? Failure to act award surely goes to Mrs. Kirk.
Ooh, yeah. Hell yes.
That cuts like a hot knife. That's a brutal. Good one.
Hell yes. Hell yes. And probably in terms of best prosthetics in a science fiction series, it's going to have to go to this guy right here, Marco Rubio. You know, right. Would you say he was more Romulan or more Vulcan in terms of the...
I think a lot of us are leaning toward option C, which is Ferengi.
Ferengi. Ooh, yes, I think so. More Ferengi.
Yeah,
I mean, he does have the
getting like Elrond. What's the elf from Lord of the Rings? I was getting that kind of vibe.
Oh, yes. Well, there are a few elves, weren't there?
Yeah, there's several species. There's wood elves and a bunch of other ones. I can't keep up.
The one played by Hugo Weaving, the Matrix actor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But he was cool in that film, and Rubio's not cool at all, so I'm not sure. It's not really going to work. Got to find the other.
In that case, Ferengi, then, for sure.
We need a dark elf of some sort of dark elf.
Definitely. I wish Mel Brooks was around. I mean, he could just kill it right now with a film. Yeah, definitely. Back to that. Failure to act award goes to Mrs. Charlie Kirk's creepy wife. His arranged marriage, CIA, Trump incorporated wife. I mean, it's really so freaky, isn't it? It's just very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they've all got heels. DeSantis, Rubio, they're all wearing flamenco lifts. Vance with the eyeliner, guy liner, they're calling it there. Graham breathing. Let's see. Did you see that guy troll Lindsey Graham in the Congress?
No, what happened?
Have you seen that clip, Ruckus?
Nope.
Oh wait, this is just you guys. I mean, it's gratuitous, you know, but we're gonna have to hold on. I'm gonna have to pull this clip because this guy has really. This is probably the toughest trolling I've. Oh wow, I found it. Oh boy. Should we pull this up? Yeah,
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see
this is just hardcore. Now, the scene here, folks, is that Lindsey Graham's just stomping through Congress as he normally does, and there's a citizen journalist of some sort. Maybe it's Patrick Henningsen. Yeah, it might be Patrick Henningsen. Is that who did this video? So he works for like OAN and Newsmax. Oh gosh, this is too much. You guys haven't seen this?
No, I don't think I have.
Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah, I'm eager now.
This is going to be huge. Chat, do you guys want to see this Lindsey Graham clip? Lindsey Graham getting trolled in a way that nobody has ever trolled Lindsey Graham publicly before. Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Lindsey wants a new sundress. No need for blackmail. Yeah, it's kind of related to that, actually. Yeah, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. Okay, here, we're going to roll this clip now, guys. So, let me pull this in here. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. You ready? Okay, the scene is set. Lindsey's rolling in, and he's been hijacked here. Listen to this, you guys. This is just too good.
Hey, Lindsey, why don't you just admit that you're gay and then people won't blackmail you anymore? Hey, Lindsey, why don't you just admit that you're gay and then people won't blackmail you anymore?
I mean, that's got a sting. What do you think?
It's perfect. Sometimes the most perfect media bites are something that short and sweet and simple.
Yeah. So that guy's really, I mean, that's pretty hardcore. Patrick Henningsen. I think he did the video.
It's a very damning confession. His silence throughout that encounter.
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore. I mean, look at him just stomping through there. It's probably the last thing he wanted to hear. These people deserve to be trolled because they're literally like clamoring for a third world war. It's almost like they have a death wish for the human race. That's the sort of vibe I get from people like Lindsey Graham, just really shameless. Although to his credit, he's lost a few pounds. So good job, Lindsey's like taking the Ozempic or whatever. I can't see him in the gym doing any workouts. So he's definitely on the Pompeo dosage levels. Pompeo's done one better. He's gone to the tanning booth as well as the Ozempic. And he sort of looks like the guy from Carradine from Kung Fu. Not quite Chinese, but you know what I mean? That's just the vibe I got with Pompeo recently. It was just like, it's like, you guys shouldn't have let him on the news looking like that, but they did. And it became a meme. So I want to say I feel bad for these guys, but it's really, they make it really hard to feel bad for them. They really do. They really do. What do you guys think of that Lindsey Graham? That was pretty hardcore, wasn't it?
I love it. I mean, just so simple. Sometimes the simplest things have the most impact.
Yeah, I agree.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your contributions. We're going to wrap this up. I know we wanted to actually go a little shorter today, so I went a little bit over the short time frame, but thank you. Final words from our great teammates from Alternate Current Radio, Hesher and Ruckus. Hesher, take it away.
We did a boiler room last night. Liberty Frozen in Plain Sight, we titled it. And you can go check that out. It's up at alternatecurrentradio.com. That's our website. It's also in all the podcast streams and out there on my X feed, which can be found at Hesher Media, or on our Rumble channel. I think we're Alternate Current Radio or Boiler Room over there. And then on our YouTube channel, which is Alternate Current Radio. If you want to support us, we got a support link over there in the main hamburger menu, alternatecurrentradio.com/support. And join us for Boiler Room next week on Friday. We'll be doing it again. So we'll see what the big media crescendo is next week, and we'll be there covering it. We had Wandering Wolf with us last time, Mr. Corey Drayton, for the first time in quite a many episodes. So a lot of people were excited to see him. And I was supposed to add him to our back chat group last night, and I forgot. So I'll do that, and maybe he'll join us here on Sunday Wire soon, Pat.
Yeah, that would be cool. Actually, there's a few alumni that it would be great to get back. Daniel Spalding's lurking about as well.
Yep. I've been trying to wrangle him in here too. We're kind of working on that in the background. We're getting Daniel Spalding, and Wandering Wolf actually had a story last night. His fiance attended one of the ICE protests in Portland, and saw it all go down, and got maced, and saw families getting maced, little kids getting maced, and stuff like that. So had a little bit of firsthand reportage, or second/firsthand reportage last night for what's going on in Portland specifically. So thanks for having me. Sorry I showed up a little bit late. I did the same thing you did on your show. I woke up to my alarm and I said, I'm going to hit snooze because I got 15 more minutes. And an hour later, I'm like, oh, crap, opening monologue's almost over. So thanks for having me and let me drop in here late.
Yeah, great discussion today, you guys. Ruckus, take it away.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We did a banger of a boiler room last night, so make sure you guys check that out over at the website. Obviously, as you saw from the image there, the theme was frozen, liberty, freedom on ice kind of stuff, so we had a grand old time with all of our graphics. You will have to tune in. Absolutely, highly recommend that you tune in to see what Mystical Pharaoh was rocking for his background. I assure you, this audience will severely appreciate what he was doing with that one. So again, thanks for having me. Make sure you guys check me out over on Weaponized News, hanging out with Sam Chaney on Wednesday nights. You can just check alternatecurrentradio.com for the showtimes on that by seeing the Roundabout Ruckus series, which is me on Weaponized News. But that's up at the website too, alternatecurrentradio.com. Thanks for having me. I can't wait to be doing this again. Hopefully not under, the threat of World War III or more salacious Epstein releases, or the fact that, we can't afford to buy bread because we need a wheelbarrow full of money to do so. But if none of that happens, I'll see you next week. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Adam Clark, a.k.a. Ruckus, Bryan McClain, also known as Hesher. Go visit alternatecurrentradio.com. There's a link on our show page right at the top at 21st Century Wire. And you want to just check out and subscribe, join the community there. Also, donate and support ACR because they're doing great work and they built a fantastic team there. And they're just going from strength to strength. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. We will catch you next time, and hopefully we'll. I'll speak to you guys on the back channels with some updates about stuff in the next couple of weeks on this show. So, that'll be interesting. Take care, gentlemen. That's all we've got time for today, folks. I appreciate the comments. Let me see. What have we got in the streams today on the comments? We've got, we're sort of into the kind of 2,000 comment range, which is pretty good for the live stream. We've had a pretty good live stream. We've got about just under 4,000 on the aggregate on the live stream. That's pretty good, plus a few re-syndications as well. So probably just below 4,000. That's not bad, considering that Trump hasn't blown anything up in the last couple of days. But we hope that that's not the case, honestly. So we'll see. I hope cooler heads prevail. I mean, it's not as if you haven't got enough on your plate at home, Donald. No, you have to go out looking for dragons to slay internationally. So anyway, we don't want World War III to break out, and that's the best I can say on that front. But look, you guys, really great to have you along for the ride. And also, I want to give again a shout to our winter fundraising drive, and we'll bring that back up on screen as well. And so all you guys' support is most appreciated. Some people during this program have donated and supported us, as well as taken out subscriptions to 21wired.tv. That's really good. That family is growing. So this is your chance to get involved, folks. If you like what we're doing, you want to see us do more, not just survive in 2026, but also thrive, to go from strength to strength. This is how we do it. And you guys have really responded. We've had some generous donations. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say, but we can't do it without you. And the content on our website and what we're putting out every week, this show, everything has just really gone up a notch. And It's because of your support. So thank you so much. And so we got a week left. Hopefully we're going to hit this target this week. Maybe by the end of this program, if some big donations come in. Anyway, whatever we get, we'll put it to great use, and it will go into the resourcing. And yeah, got a lot of work to do, a lot of things that we need to do, things we need to get, upgrades, etc. And we're able to do some of that already, including some on-the-ground reporting, important on-the-ground reporting, coming to a program in the very near future on this channel, on this network. So that's because of you. Thank you very much, everybody. Look, that's all we've got time for today. That's the show, folks. It's been real, and let's do it again. Thank you to our teammates. Thank you to all you guys who have participated in this program. We are over and out, and we'll see you very shortly, very soon indeed. And don't forget, folks, you are the revolution.
Bienvenido a acompañar esta tarde y no podría ser la excepción. El partido Fuerza, Fuerza. Fuerza, Fuerza. Se vive hoy. Se vive esta manifestación desde el corazón y las entrañas de un pueblo. Por eso hoy queremos recibir a ese líder, a ese caballero.
Are the revolution that you've been waiting for? You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for.
You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution.
That you've been waiting for.
You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution.
That you've been waiting for.
You are the revolution. Revolution.
When you're tired of being just a commodity, you are the revolution. And when gas lit into another war, stand strong because you are the revolution.
You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution.
That you've been waiting for.
You are the revolution. You are the revolution. You are the revolution.
They conspire against you, accuse you of terrorism, to steal your sovereignty. Hold fast, watch it collapse.
You are the revolution. You are the revolution.
But just stop. I know that we still have the power. You are the revolution. They want to centralize, monopolize, control your thoughts. Breathe, go deep, go outside, put seeds in the ground. You are not alone. You are not alone.
You are the revolution that you've been waiting for. You are the revolution that you've been waiting for.
Alone.
You are the revolution that you've been waiting for.
You are the revolution.
You are not alone.
to the revolution?
Why, yes, my lady. And you're right on time.